shot for the alligator in the granite lane by the 156 mile marker.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun.
This was Lafayette, Louisiana, where 20 to 30% of the population are French speakers. But why? We're in the Vermilionville, which is I guess it's like a staged Louisiana town. It's actually really cool. We just met a woman who makes cotton by hand. It's as though we've been transported back centuries. It all began in the 18th century when Acadians, French-speaking settlers from Acadia in Canada, were expelled by the British during the French and Indian War. Seeking refuge, many Acadians resettled in Louisiana, bringing with them their language, traditions, and way of life. Fast forward to today, and Lafayette stands as a stronghold of French culture in America. The descendants of these Acadian settlers, known as Cajuns, have preserved their French heritage through language, cuisine, music, and festivals.
Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through.
Adieu, Mariette. This is the last time we saw Mariette. Okay.
If you go back to our last video, the day before, we had just done a bayou tour outside of New Orleans and knew that gators in this area were rampant. But the free canoes and kayaks somehow seemed to lure us back into the waters, despite being petrified the whole time.
No set in the alligators in the area.
Even some dude we passed by was like, well, there def could be some gators in there. I remember now, you're not supposed to overcook sausages, and I think that's what I did. I think I overcooked the sausage. The next morning, we crossed into big old Texas. Everything just feels a whole lot weirder in the state. We had a few hours in Houston. Should we go to the NASA Space Center to give us a lasting impression of the city? No, let's go to this questionably morbid choice instead. So we're in Houston, Texas, and we decided to go to the National Museum of Funeral History.
All the places available.
The alternative was the NASA Space Center, and we decided for the Funeral History Museum instead.
I'm already really happy we came in here.
That's Abraham Lincoln, not the real one, of course. Doesn't even look like a proper model of Abraham Lincoln, but there he is. If you were ever curious about all things death, this is your place. These weird kinky animal thingies are actually coffins. When you have had your fix of death, head on to nearby
Taste buds in Houston. Gotta go.
We were headed to Austin, known especially for its weirdness yet progressiveness in a sea of red counties. The foodies in us immediately tracked down the perfect dive.
This is our favorite place in all of Austin. Marinara Miracles. In this dive bar all the way to the back. And you get these like paper plates of amazing Italian-American food, but still so good. Let's give it a go. Brussels sprouts and ranch. Oh my god, fuck god.
This is Italian, but it's not Italian. It's Italo-American, Italian-American.
You don't have meatballs in Italy.
Spaghetti with meatballs, not together with spaghetti.
Another motel, another Texas-shaped motel breakfast. So let's get back to the weirdness of Austin. Austin is so weird. It literally has a museum of weird, and on the way to this museum of weird, we saw a grown woman walking around the alleys in a diaper. That looks so vegan. Austin is so weird, its squirrels approach you in the parks. It's so weird. These are the kinds of signs you see everywhere. Every place we go to has this notice that firearms are prohibited. And And it's so weird that people have lawns like this. What the actual fuck? Time to channel our inner Austin weirdness on Marriott's last night. Cue the photos. Excuse the very cool glasses. We are watching a partial total eclipse. I guess right now is the time when it's at its max. So as you can see, it's not very dark out, but there is like an eerie dark tinge going on. And yeah, if I look up with these glasses at the sun, which you need to do, most of the sun is concealed. It's really cool, but yeah, if I take these off, I'm gonna go blind. Our last night in Austin quickly swung around and we decided to take an hour pontoon boat ride down the Colorado River. Yes, Texas has its own Colorado River that is different from the one we all know. We were there mainly to see the bats under Congress Avenue Bridge. At any point, there could be up to 1.5 million bats under this bridge, and every night they migrate from here for a few hours to forage for insects and other food.
The bats are in there at 200 per square foot. That statistic kind of tends to go over people's heads.
So basically, we watched this mass migration of 1.5 million bats as we got sprayed with bat poop. The next morning, we were on our way up to New Mexico via Lubbock, Texas. The towns start to feel more isolated and smaller as you get away from the major cities. Okay, we're stopping by this little town of, I think it's called Goldwater, but yeah, it's definitely Schitt's Creek vibes. You have a general store, a cafe, one bar and grill, and that's about it. It's cute.
Guess where we are? So let's make a recap. We are back on the road trip again after Rusty, and we are heading to New Mexico. Where are we now?
We're in Goldwater, Texas. We just ended up at this museum. If you come to Goldwater, walk into this place, there's a lovely woman. She's a volunteer, and she'll talk you through the whole entire place, which is very big, all about the history of this town. And it's a cute little Schitt's Creek town, I would say.
Yeah, and they really have a good Mexican food.
Good Mexican food.
Go to La Hacienda, what was the name?
La Hacienda de Jalisco.
The road again. Next stop in Lubbock.
Texas is really just that massive, and when we got to this place called Mills County, I felt truly out of my element. Even being from the same country, this was truly another world for me.